Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to go over my 2000 Toyota Land Cruiser and what I've done to it to turn it into the ultimate, at least to me, the ultimate off-road adventure camper. To basically show you the finished product first, here's the side, the front, the back, the top, and the inside. I'm gonna make this video as detailed and comprehensive as possible, and so it might be on the longer side. And so what I'm going to do is put on the screen here, and then also in the video description down below, a table of contents, basically with timestamps. So if there's a particular section you're interested in, go ahead and jump directly to that spot. So I think that for this build to make sense, I need to quickly go over my camping style, how I use this thing and how I plan to use it. So usually it's just me camping. Sometimes my wife comes along, but usually it's just me. But I wanted something that was suitable for two of us in case she and our dog did come along. And I don't live out of this full time, but I do spend between 2 days and a month camping in my cars at a time. And so it can be weeks that I'm in this thing or just a quick overnight trip. It really just depends on the trip. I think it's also important to understand how exactly I'm camping. So I don't stay in one spot for a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time. I'm in a different campsite every night. I'm out doing things during the day. I find a campsite an hour or two before dark, and I'm hanging out just inside. And then the next morning I leave at around sunrise, if not before. So I'm not like setting up a whole little mini compound here, right? It's all kind of in here. I wanted it to be quick and easy to set up or no setup once I get to a campsite. As I said, this is a 2000 Land Cruiser, and I made a whole video about why I chose the Land Cruiser, so I won't go into too much depth about it, but I bought this with about 145,000 miles on it. That is relatively low for a Land Cruiser. These can last, 300, 400, 500,000 miles. They're extremely durable, rugged, overbuilt, over-engineered. They're really tough cars. That's why I wanted it, but that means that they hold their value pretty well. This was not a cheap used car. If you want to buy one of these with a lot of miles, like 300,000 miles, you'll still be spending at least $10,000. If you want one with lower miles, you're looking to spend 15 or 20,000. Then if you want one with things done to it, you're going to be spending more than that. So it's not a cheap car. I love this thing, but one reason not to get it is that it guzzles gas. It is not fuel efficient with this V8 motor. It gets about 11 to 14 miles per gallon. We're talking 11 if we're going 80 miles an hour on the interstate, going up hills on the interstate. Around town, we're looking at 13, and if we're cruising at 50 miles an hour, we're looking at about, 14, 15, somewhere in that range. I bought this with a lift. This has a 2.5-inch Old Man Emu lift with 33-inch tires. I'll put the exact tire specs on the screen here. They are BFG KO2 tires, which are kind of the standard off-road tire, and this car also had improved suspension, a modern stereo with CarPlay and Android Auto, and a backup camera. It also came with these really nice and currently very dirty WeatherTech rubberized floor mats, both in the front and then behind the front seats here. One of the first things I did was add a full-size spare tire to the back, so this is the exact same tire that's on the rest of the wheels. I also got all the windows tinted. The front windows are at a 20% tint, and the rear windows are all at a 10% tint. The lower the number, the darker the tint. And I wanted this for privacy reasons, so people couldn't see my stuff inside, and also for heat reasons. I've noticed that it's a lot cooler inside here with tinted windows, which is really nice. I also added these deflectors to the windows so that I can roll the windows down a little bit to get some airflow and not get rain inside. I added these seat covers, which fit okay, and they look only okay. I don't love the color. I wish they were closer to the factory color. The seats in here were actually in really good shape. The whole car was in really nice shape when I bought it, but I still wanted to put seat covers on. At some point, I'll get proper seat covers specifically made for a Land Cruiser, but those are like $300 or $400. These were $50 or $60 off of Amazon, and so they're good enough for now. I also added this little computer. This is called a Scan Gauge 2. I mounted it with Velcro to the top of the steering column here. Works great, and I wanted this because this gives me an accurate reading of my current miles per hour, because these tires are bigger than what came on the car, and so the odometer isn't accurate. I mean, you can get that changed, but I thought it would be easier to just get this little computer in here You can calibrate it so that it's accurate no matter what the tire size is. And so I have mine saying 4 different things. I think it's current speed, current miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, and then gallons per hour, I think. You can cycle between a bunch of different things. There are like 20 or 30 options to choose from. Those are the ones that I went with, and I really like it. It's great having the digital speedometer there. Even if I didn't need to recalibrate it for this car, I like having the digital readout instead of having the little dial there. So now let's go to the platform, which is kind of the main attraction here. This is where everything starts. So it's an 8-inch platform that I built with my cousin. First, I had to take the seats out. This is a 3-row seat vehicle. The back seats were already out. They're pretty easy to put in and take out. The second row of seats took about 15 minutes to take out. It wasn't too bad, just needed a socket wrench and it was fine. So I removed all of those, and then my cousin and I built this platform. It took a full day to build this. This particular platform doesn't have drawers. It doesn't, you know, the drawers don't open like this. I don't want that kind of platform because that can only be accessed from the back, from back here. And I'm sorry, there are so many mosquitoes out. If you hear me swatting or see my hand swatting, it's because I'm being swarmed by mosquitoes. And so I wanted to be able to access the things underneath the platform while inside the vehicle, and that's why I built it like this. Let me set up the camera and show you. This platform opens this way, and it has these stoppers here. And so this means that I can access the stuff under here while I'm over on this side, and then I can move over to this side and access the stuff under here. So I'll have just a ton of storage space. I'm using maybe half, tons and tons of storage. And I can still access stuff from the back in addition to doing it while I'm inside. Because again, if I'm at camp, I'm inside. I don't spend a lot of time outside. It's most useful for me to be able to access the stuff while I'm inside the vehicle. This is built out of, I think, 5/8 inch Baltic birch plywood. Really nice wood. Also kind of pricey. It's I think $130 a sheet, and we used 3 sheets. I think we could have gotten away with 2 sheets, but we messed up and tried a few different things, and so we were happy to have the 3 sheets. And you can see it's not straight across back here. It's kind of contoured a little bit, both right here and then also right here. And that's so that when it's lifted up, the back can still close. Otherwise, it would be scraping up against the closed back hatch here. So it took, again, a little bit of trial and error to get that the right shape, but it works really well. And I like having this little area in the back. I call this the garage. We'll get to all this stuff in a minute. I just want to show you the platform itself and focus on the platform here. Again, because of the shape of the inside of the vehicle here. So back here, it curves. It curves right here. So from this point where we stopped, where the wood is right here, it curves out. So we couldn't bring it straight back. And so that's why it's back about, well, it's a good 10 inches right there. And I actually really like this space to just put random stuff that I use a lot. This is a battery charging station for my filming. And then this obviously is toilet paper. It's always nice to have that super accessible, super handy. Then I can put wet things back here. Like I've put my wet or muddy hiking boots back there. This is just like a cheap shelf liner stuff from Walmart. The insides of the bins, or of the platform, both sides are not lined. It just goes down to the carpet there. There are 2 separate mattresses here, and if we move the sleeping bag aside and the mattress aside, you can see I have locks on each platform door. These are cam locks from Amazon, and they're all keyed alike. So each door, each side has 2 locks in it, one at the back and one at the front. So one here, one here, one here, one here. One key locks and unlocks all of them. These are really nice to have for security so that I can leave the car with, you know, camera gear or whatever I have back in there. And then also when going down really bumpy, rocky roads, the back sometimes rattles. It'll rattle against the frame. You know, these doors here will rattle. That's not great, and so being able to lock the doors means that doesn't happen as much. And then also, if I were to roll the car over, to crash the car, all my stuff that's inside of here won't go flying around and hit me in the back of the head and kill me if I lock down the platform. I sleep with my head at this end, at the back, right here where the pillows are. The pillows are inside the sleeping bags here. Let me get inside so you can see exactly how big it is and how I fit inside and everything like that. So I'm 5'11", and just for the purposes of showing you here right now how I fit in here, I'll put my head at this end instead of at that end like usual. And so like this, I still have a good 3 or 4 inches of headroom, and of course if I wanted more I could move the front seats forward here. And then I can't sit up completely. I can sit up with my neck bent a little bit. So here I am. And so usually what I do is sit against the back door here like this. I can sit with the pillows behind me, and I can be on my laptop, or I can be reading, or, you know, writing, doing whatever, and it's pretty comfortable back there. The platform goes from here, from the back, to about a foot behind the front seats, and we'll talk more about all this stuff later. As for the beds and the other sleeping stuff, like I said, I have 2 mattresses, one here, each is 24 inches wide, each is from Amazon. I took some cheap sheets from Target and kind of folded them over lengthwise like a taco, and then sewed them, and also sewed that end. And so what I have here is a little sleeve that I can insert the mattress into. And it's for some reason very hard to open this right now. There we go. And then at the end I put button snaps so I can secure the foam mattress pad in there. Links to all of the things that I show, if I can find links to them, will be in the video description. So to the mattress and to the million other things that I've shown and will be showing you guys. Here's a closer look at the button snaps. You can get a little $15 tool to put those on fabric. They're called cam snaps. And then as far as the bedding goes, there's a sleeping bag, 2 sleeping bags, one on each side. This is like a cheap one from Amazon. This is a slightly nicer one, but still pretty cheap. This one's probably 40 degrees. I think this one is probably about the same, maybe 50. I don't remember, to be honest. They're both synthetic. On chilly nights, I'll just use 1 sleeping bag. On cold nights, like last night when it got down to 31 degrees, so it was just below freezing, I slept in this one with this one around it. So both sleeping bags together work really well. And I have 3 pillows in the car. I have 2 normal sized ones, just regular pillows, one here. During the day I put them inside the sleeping bags to keep them under control, to keep them out of the way. And then the 3rd pillow I have is a little travel pillow, just a small little guy. I think it's in here right now. And then underneath the bedding, underneath the mattress, is this black thing that you might have noticed. This is called Den Dry, and it's anti-mold stuff. So what it does is that it basically gives you an air permeable barrier underneath your mattress, underneath your sleeping bag. And that makes it harder for mold to grow. In my last car, when I had a very similar kind of platform set up and build, I noticed that I started to get a little bit of mold there, and this is such a nice platform, I don't want to have to rebuild it, and I also don't want mold. I bought this from Amazon. I think it was, I don't know, $100, $110, and I cut it into a couple of different pieces. So there's one length here, same on the other side, and I stapled it with a staple gun to the wooden platform. For window coverings, as far as privacy goes, I have curtains. I have curtains on all of the windows except the windshield. I have just a normal fold-up sunshade for the windshield, and then all the other windows have curtains. Right now they're all rolled up. So the first step when putting curtains up is that you need to figure out a way to hang the curtains. You need something to hang the curtains from. And so I have, you can see right here, you can see this pretty well. I used shock cord, which is like paracord, but it's stretchy. And I put that all around the interior from this front left corner, all along the top, and then all along the back, and then all along the front right to above the front passenger side. And I hung it off of, I mean, you can see I tied it to this thing. I have it tied along and to grab handles there are a bunch of grab handles in this car. You can see I tied a piece off right there, and so it goes all along here. And for each individual curtain, so I think there are 7 curtain pieces in here, 1 for each of the windows. So there's one that goes on the front right side, 1 for this window, 1 for this window, 1 that covers up this, and then 1 for each of the 3 side windows. So 7 curtains. It was a lot of sewing. I sewed them myself. This fabric, let me undo one of these to show you. So during the day, they're rolled up and they're held in place with these little gray Velcro straps. And I went with gray for everything, or tan for everything, because I like how big and open and bright and airy this car is. Big windows, and I wanted it to be light. And so I didn't want to use black. I don't need black. I don't need blackout curtains. I just don't want people to see me inside or see what I'm doing inside. So as long as the curtains are down, you can't see what's going on inside the car. And so these are little 1-wrap Velcro strips, if the camera will focus. There we go. So this wraps on itself, and so this comes down, and then there are 2 or 3 of these for each curtain, which makes it a little bit tedious, especially rolling them back up. That takes a minute. But I don't do all of them at every campsite. Usually I just do the side that's, you know, facing the road. So this is a ripstop nylon. It's like a grayish silver, very thin ripstop nylon. And again, this is kind of hard to do one-handed, much faster with 2 hands. So there you have the curtain covering up that back left window. And I don't really want the curtains to be just dangling straight, hanging straight. I want them up against here more. And so that's what these are for. These are little gold binder clips. And so I can just attach the edge of this to the seat belts. And that works great. I attached the curtains to the shock cord. So there you can see the shock cord. It's kind of a khaki color. I attached it with more of those cam snaps. So I just folded it over. So this just snaps off. It's folded over, and then it snaps on. For this particular window, I usually keep the cord above the grab handle. Above the grab handle, like that. Covers the window better. And if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to take the time to actually roll this up, which doesn't take, it doesn't take that much time. Like, you're watching me do it in real time right now. And then you just use those Velcro straps. What you can do is just kind of stick it up here behind the shock cord, and that does the job if you want to leave camp pretty quick in the morning without trying to make everything look nice. This is the front passenger side. You can see how I've anchored the end of the shock cord. And you can see I also used one of those golden binder clips right there in the middle to kind of direct the flow of the shock cord. And so I just took the binder clip and stuck the wire part of it in between the headliner and the plastic trim piece, and I was able to get that cord to go right through it. I had to do that a lot for the back window curtain too. You can see this one. You can see the top of the binder clip right there. And so again, that directs the shock cord from down here up. Otherwise it would go straight across like right here. But having those binder clips takes it up, which is nice. So this is where I store the front windshield sunshade, and then I have some bug spray and sunscreen right next to it. super compact. Works great. And then on the two side door windows, I have bug screens more or less always attached. So I made these out of no-see mesh. I bought just a couple yards of the fabric, and then I cut it to size, cut it to basically fit perfectly this window. And again, I have the same thing on that side. And they're held in place with these flat magnets. Probably, I don't know, 15 magnets altogether for each one. Got a lot of them. So I can roll the window all the way down. The best part is that I can pull into camp, and right before I turn off the car, I can just lower these windows. If the bugs are really bad, I don't even need to get out of the car. I can just crawl in the back. I'm sure a lot of you guys have camped in really, really buggy, really, really mosquito infected areas, and you get out of the car and mosquitoes just get in. And so being able to just roll the windows down is just awesome. I have a Renogy 100 watt compact solar panel on top of the cargo box there. The wiring for that goes around the left side of the cargo box. Comes down this way, because I opened it on the right side, so I didn't want that over on the side that I opened it on. Goes down underneath along the crossbar to the other side. And I have it kept in place with some zip ties right there, some like 200-pound UV resistant zip ties. The cable, so I haven't drilled any holes to get the solar panel cable into the car. It goes down alongside the channel here, along the inside channel. It does not get pinched when the rear door is closed, which is really nice. It goes down, goes underneath. So it goes underneath here and goes underneath the car, and it comes up into the car through a grommet. So if you were to remove the carpet or pull the carpet aside, you'd see a metal hole in the body of the car with a plastic grommet in it. So my cousin and I, he helped me with this a lot. We routed the cables up through there, out between the carpet and the trim, along the side of the platform to the main power station, which is right here. This is a Jackery Explorer 1000, and I charge it both from the solar panel and while driving. It cannot be charged simultaneously, so I switch. The 12-volt plug that I charge it from is actually inside of here. There's one in the center console for some reason, and so I have that coming out here, and it plugs into the Jackery when I'm driving. And I added this little mini USB hub here, so it was easier to access those USB ports, because they're kind of hard to get to down there to try to plug something in, so that just makes life easier. And this essentially, I mean, almost exclusively powers the fridge, which we'll get to later. The fridge is behind the front seat, the front passenger side seat here, but I want to stick with power for now. So that's that Jackery, that's the main one. That can also fit, and I've done this before, I did this on my last trip, that can also fit behind the front driver's seat. It can fit right here. So for example, if my wife were to come with me on a trip, I would move that to up here to free up the room for her to sit there. But I like it better up that way. I like using this as a spot to put my shoes and toiletries and things like that. And then you saw earlier, I think I mentioned this Jackery. This is a Jackery Explorer 240. This is the battery charging station. This charges while I'm driving. There's another 12-volt cigarette lighter socket right there, and so it charges this guy whenever I drive. And so this charges my main camera batteries, it charges the GoPro batteries and the drone batteries, and then it also charges my phone at night. So this cable right here is this cable right here that has 3 different plugs on the end. There's micro USB, lightning, and USB-C. So that's handy. It's handy to have all those nearby. And yeah, really nice setup. I like having the separation. I like being able to just put the tailgate down. By the way, I love the tailgate. You can stand on that. You can cook on it. It's awesome. Anyway, yeah, it's nice to have the redundancy of 2 power stations. I got both of these for free from Jackery. I also have a Jackery Explorer 1500 that I use in my other adventure car, my RAV4. And so I figured I've got them, I might as well use them. It's great having 2. And if I wanted to, I could just unplug this and take it out, you know, out to the lake to pump up an inflatable boat or something like that. You know, you've got options when you have a smaller, more portable power station. That thing weighs a ton. I mean, you can move it, but it's not fun to move. This one, super easy to move. I mean, it's small. Let's talk about food, water, and cooking. So for water, I have this thing. This is a 2.5 gallon jug with an electronic little pump on it. I can turn it around, and I think by the time this video that you're watching goes live, I'll have a video showing how I made this. I kind of cobbled all of this together, but it's awesome. Just press a button and the water comes out. So what I use this for a lot is refilling water bottles. So I have this one big jug, and then I can refill my smaller water bottles. And on top here, if I turn this around, it has different presets. So 300 milliliters, 500, and 1 liter. So I can take an empty 1 liter bottle, stick it under here, press that 1 liter button, and it'll just fill up that thing automatically, fill up the water bottle automatically, and then it'll stop once it gets to a liter. Super cool. I really like having this, and it's portable. You know, again, you can take this outside. You can use it to wash your hands, wash dishes, whatever you want to do, but mostly I use it to fill up empty water bottles. And then that brings us to the fridge, which is a little bit covered up by the end of the mattress here, but it's not a big deal. I mean, it still opens and closes just fine. So this fridge is not fancy. It's not a Dometic. It's not expensive. This was about, I don't remember, I'll put it on the screen here, the exact price on the screen, around $250, I think. The brand is Joy Tudas, which is just a kind of a generic Chinese company that sells things on Amazon. They make just a ton of different things, and they happen to make little portable 12-volt fridges. But I really like this fridge so far. Let's see if I can move the mattress back so you can get a better look at it. Nice little fridge. It's quiet. It does the job. It has a magnet along the ring here, so it kind of, or along the rim, so it snaps shut nicely. My last fridge did not do that. I don't cook a lot on my trips. I eat a lot of stuff that's just easy to make, so sandwiches, yogurt, vegetables. So I have a lot of drinks in here, and then so that's all the fridge food. The dry food is in this bin right here. This is from Walmart. Let's see if I can open this for you. It latches shut. And I have in here dry food, which for me mostly consists of hiking food. So nuts, granola bars, you know, got some pecans right there, jerky, dried fruit. So that's basically all my food and my water. As far as cooking goes, again, I don't really cook on my trips. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to spend the time doing that. And so I do have a stove. I have a little a one burner backpacking stove. I'll show that to you here. So in general, this side of the platform is stuff that I access and use fairly often. This side of stuff that I have stored underneath the platform is stuff that I don't use as much. So on this side here, I've got, let's see, can you see this? I'll show you everything else in a minute, but let's stick with the cooking for now. So in this bag right here, I have some cooking stuff, and let's go over what I have in there. This bag has a couple different categories of things in it, but as far as food stuff goes, I have this silicone bowl that I've stuck a fuel canister in that is difficult to get out right now. All right, so here's my little bowl, fuel canister, this fork, knife, spoon combo. I also have some disposable cutlery in the car here. That's I think it's in the glove compartment. so it's pretty easy to access, but I do have this reusable stuff too. And then this is the main thing. So this is a Stanley little pot that I got from Walmart. I've used this thing for years, probably 6 years. I love it, it's awesome. The pot has a little handle that folds down, has a little lid that just fell off with a handle on it. I'll get to this in a second. That's the stove. But I have a mug in here. This is an insulated mug. And then I have the last thing, if it'll come out, is a little mini fuel canister. So it all fits in here. This fuel canister, this bigger one, is a spare. You can see the size difference there. So this is the little stove. It's just super cheap, again, generic Amazon one. A little stove here. Unfolds. Screws on to this. And then a plate. And this is a little 12-volt electric tea kettle, basically. It's an electric water heater. You can unscrew this, put water in, and then screw it back on, put it on this thing, and plug it in to a 12-volt outlet. Works really nicely. And then I forget how long this takes. I don't use it a ton, but I like having it in case I want to heat up water for tea or hot chocolate, or I don't know, I don't really eat cup of noodles, but if you wanted to, you could use it for that too. Handy thing to have. Let's go to showering and toiletries and things like that. So this bag also has that gear in it. I have a microfiber towel, quick drying towel. I have this shower. I've made an entire video about this shower, so I won't go into too much detail, but this is a 3-liter platypus bottle with a little ball valve on the end. And then this is a soda bottle lid or cap with some holes in it that I poked. And so you can just leave this outside, or you can put hot water in it if you want. And then I hang it from the top of my car or from a tree. Turn the ball valve here and have a nice little shower. This is the one shower thing that I use. I have another one that I'll show you in a second here. Generally I'll take a proper shower, like an RV park or a campground or a rec center, about once a week on my travels, but I like having this. Also, I do use this, and also just wash my hair a couple times a week apart from the real shower, so I'll use this to wash my hair also. As far as my main toiletries go, like my day-to-day toiletries, I keep those on the other side of the food bin. So that bag right there has my toiletries in it. And I also keep my shoes there. I have this as a pee bottle. This is the Walmart version of a Nalgene bottle. I hate it. I will be buying a real Nalgene bottle. I thought this would be fine. It's not great. It's hard to open sometimes, and it's just like flimsy, and it's not great. So that's that. And then this thing is pretty cool. This is what I call my second shower. Let me unclip it here and bring it out and show you. So this is a 1.5 liter Nalgene bottle with a little pump and sprayer sort of thing attached to it. So I use this when brushing my teeth to you know, clean off the toothbrush, and also to rinse out my mouth. And then, so the way this works, you pump it, and then it has 3 different nozzle functions. Let me see if I can get it to focus a little bit better here. So it'll spray a mist, like that. Then if you loosen it a little bit, it'll spray out as a single stream. And then if you take it off all the way, it's a little triple stream, so 3 little streams of water. And so that is what I use to wash my hair. I can sit this in the sun, put it on the dashboard while the car is parked, and then just rinse off my hair. Really cool little thing. And again, links to all these things are going to be in the video description. Also, for keeping myself clean, I usually have baby wipes or some sort of wet wipe to, you know, rinse myself or to rub myself down with. I don't have any with me right now. I forgot to bring them on this trip, but that is something that I use, again, throughout the week just to get the dirt and grime and stuff off of me. It really helps in between the real showers. So on the left side here, which is easiest to access if I unplug the little Jackery car charger, if I put this up, right here I have some more toilet stuff. I showed you my shower things, and these are my actual going to the bathroom toilet things right here. And so first off, I have a shovel to dig a cat hole to poop into. Not to put too fine a point on it. I also have these plastic trash bags, which I'll show you what I use these for in a second. And some kitty litter, a little bottle of kitty litter. And then my actual toilet is right here, super compact. I've made a video all about this, so I won't go into details, but I'll set it up here and show you what it looks like really quick. This is what it looks like just in normal mode. I can sit on it just like a little stool, which it is. It's a stool that I modified. But then to use it as a toilet, these slide over like that. So imagine these as the seats, or as a toilet seat, basically. I put the plastic bag in there, you know, open up the edge of the plastic bag so it goes around the toilet. I put some of that kitty litter in there. I do my business, put more kitty litter in, tie it up, wrap it up, toss it up in the cargo box on top of the car if I need to. Works really well. Again, I'll put the video of this thing in the description. Speaking of the cargo box, let's move to things up on top of the car here. This cargo box I bought used for about $300. It is the, what is it? Thule Adventurer box. It's pretty long. It's pretty big, but it's a pretty long, pretty big car, so not really a problem. It is, it's not half width. It doesn't take up the full width either. It's like 2/3 width. And it's just, I mean, it's big. It's kind of cavernous. I'm surprised at how much it can hold. This is kind of an older model, and you can tell, you know, it's not like all swoopy and made out of carbon fiber or anything like that. It's an older cargo box, but that's what I wanted actually, because I wanted to be able to mount my solar panel up there. And I've done this on several of my vehicles. I've driven 100,000 plus miles with a solar panel on top of a cargo box. It's rock solid. I love it. You know, between my 3 cars, I've driven a lot with a solar panel up there. And I've made videos about how I attach this to here. Basically, there are these little Z bracket things you can buy from Amazon for $10 or $12, and I use that to attach the two. And yes, I do drill holes into the cargo box itself, but that's not a big deal. I have a 2-person pack raft, which you've seen in my videos before. I have 2 backpacks. The red one is a hiking backpack. This kind of grayish one right here is my fishing backpack, hence the net. And also for showering, going back to all that stuff, I have this thing. This is a pop-up privacy tent right there. And then I also have my recovery boards in here, along with another fishing net, another landing net, and my wading boots for fishing. But yeah, I have the recovery boards in here. I may move them at some point to the other side. Let me show you what's on the other side of the cargo box here. It's this. This is a 4-gallon Rotopax fuel can, and it's full right now, and it's pretty cool. I like this thing. I couldn't figure out a good way to mount it. The crossbars, which you can see right here, I'm holding myself up onto the car with it, and then the other one is right there. They're too far apart to just be able to like strap this directly to the crossbars, and I can move these, but I wanted them far apart for the benefit of the cargo box. So the cargo box was more stable. And so I put these other bars up here. So these are Thule crossbars. They're kind of old. They're not fancy, but they came with this cargo box when I bought it. And so I thought, oh, I can actually use those. So these are crossbars, and they're just going between the other crossbars. So I attached them in parallel like this, and then I can strap the gas can to it This is a ratchet strap, super, super solid. Really happy with this setup here. And I mentioned that I might move the recovery boards to be over here. And that's something that I'm considering. I can strap both the recovery boards and the gas can up there, like together. I've tried it, it didn't work out super well, but I'll keep trying it. I'll try other configurations. Maybe I can figure out a way to have both of them up here. But for now, I mean, the cargo box is so big that it's not a problem having the recovery boards in there. Okay, now let's get into emergency and recovery gear. So I showed you the recovery boards. I showed you the extra gas. Again, when your car gets 12 miles to the gallon, it's nice to have some extra. Let me show you the other recovery and emergency gear I have really quick here. So this is a portable jump starter. I really like this one. I've used it a couple times. This is an air compressor, hatchet, jumper cables. This little bag here has tire repair stuff in it. So I have one of these tire repair kits, the plug things. Then I have a couple different fix-a-flats in there. Moving that aside, in here, these are my tow straps and like shackles, heavy-duty stuff to pull me out or for me to pull someone else out. This can slot into the hitch receiver on the back of the car if I need another hauling or towing anchor point. Good stuff there. This is a siphon with a little brass ball valve on the end there. This is my tool bag. I won't open it up, it just has tools in it, nothing too crazy. I have two different jacks, actually I have three jacks. So the jack that came with the car is kind of in this side interior panel right here. You can access it with the platform here, but I'm not going to show you. It's just in here. It's a basic scissor jack. This is a floor jack. This is a 3-ton floor jack that goes up to like 18 or 20 inches, pretty high, which is important when you have a lifted large vehicle. This is a bottle jack. This is a 12-ton bottle jack that I just bought from Harbor Freight. Basically, I'm terrified of not being able to change a flat tire. If I'm in the middle of nowhere on like a really bad dirt road, I want to be able to change the tire. And so I like having multiple options. I like having multiple jacks here. And then this isn't anything emergency or recovery related. That is a box of Walmart plastic assorted cutlery. And then in the center console interior compartment here, I have bear spray and I have a first aid kit. And again, this shovel here, this little shovel that I can use for digging cat holes is also helpful if I need to dig the tires or dig snow or sand or mud out from the tires to clear a path for the tires. I have two different fans. One of them is in this bag that I've kept out here. This is the toiletry, like the shower bag and the cooking gear bag. I also have a fan in here. This fan has a clamp on it. I can clamp it to any of the grab handles over here. So in front of the two side windows that I keep open at night, I can clamp it there and turn it on. It has 3 different speeds. It has low, medium, and high. It can be charged with USB-C or micro USB, which I like. And it has a built-in battery. There's a built-in battery, I think, in this part. And so just on the battery alone, it can run for, I think, like 6 hours on high and about 20 hours on low. But then you can also plug it in and run it straight from that while it's charging, which is useful. So there's this fan. The second fan, I need to put this thing down to show you. It's in the compartment, the built-in compartment back in here. So on the rear right side of the car, there are these built-in compartments. There's this long one here, then there's the smaller one that's partially hidden right here. So this one has a fan in it. These are the blades of the fan. And then this is the fan, the hub, the main body of the fan itself. Let me show you how it goes together. And this is USB powered, so it uses very little power. I can plug this either into the little jackery in the back or the bigger one in the front, this cable is long enough to reach both places, and I've used both. It just depends on what I feel like doing. So these just plug in. And there you have it. Let me show you how I hang it. The back of the Land Cruiser has these 3 vents in it to get some air to the third row passengers that would be back here. I've tied these little pieces of shock cord, the same stuff that I used for the curtains. I've tied these little loops in each one. I'll show you a close-up of that now. So there's one of those in each vent, and I can hang stuff from it, including the fan. So I can hang that there. So it does hang down. And so if I were sleeping on this side, I wouldn't want this like right in my face, because if you were to sit up, then you'd get clipped in the head. But while it's just me in here, I sleep on this side, and so I can have the fan over on this side. And then you need to get the cord out of the way, the cable out of the way. And so I usually route it through one of the grab handles, like such as. And then let's say I want to plug it into the little jackery in the back here. I can unplug that and then plug in the fan. It has an on-off switch. That's really the only setting. I'll turn it on. And there you have it. Voila. It puts out a surprising amount of air. And so with this fan here, and then the other fan clips to one of the windows, it's a lot of airflow. It's really nice. At some point I might, so let's close this here, I might make a mesh screen for the whole back so that I could open this up. And by the way, there is a trigger or like a lever inside here, so I can open up this rear hatch from the inside. Let me see. Oh yeah, right here. So it'd be nice to be able to open this and then have this be all mesh, but that's kind of complicated because I also want to be able to access stuff from here. So I would need to be able to like reach through the mesh to get to, you know, the under platform storage. And so, you know, there are ways to do it. It'll just take some time to get that all put together. So that's the fan, or the fans. Let me show you the lighting. And for that, we'll open this long compartment. And here I have a few different things. There's that. There's this, and I'll show you these in more detail in a second. And then there's this. So this is a headlamp. Pretty self-explanatory. The camera is not focusing. Little solar lantern. I need a third hand. Little lantern. This is from Walmart. I like it. Nice little lantern. And then this is actually kind of similar to the fan. It's a bulb, a light bulb. I usually hang it right there. And then on the other end, USB. And so again, I can plug that in there. And this one has a few more controls actually, so I can turn it on or off. So let's go up here, on, off, on, off. If I keep it on, this button right here, I can cycle between colors. So this is white light. This is a very warm yellow light. This is in between. And cycle between all of them. And then I can make it lighter or brighter. So I'll put it down. I don't know if you can really tell in the camera that it's getting more dim. And then now I'm making it brighter. I really like this. Handy little thing to have. And I probably will be getting a little USB hub or splitter to give me more USB ports, like I did with the front jackery. So those are the main categories of things I've done to the car. There's one final category that is everything else, and that covers everything else. So let me start showing you everything else. So in this back right platform, I have a bunch of tenkara rods. Tenkara is a Japanese style of fly fishing that I enjoy a lot. I have a second YouTube channel that's all about that style of fishing. It's called Tenkara Addict. Go ahead and check that out if that sounds interesting to you. And then back here I have other camera gear. Like this is my drone in here. These are batteries. This is all accessible, easily accessible from the back while I'm outside. Got a couple of lenses here. This big mesh bag right here is my dirty clothes bag. These are my clean clothes with socks and underwear over in here. But yeah, I've got shirts and then shorts and pants right there. Some books. Back here are the jackets. I have, I think, 3 jackets back there. This bag I've already shown you that has the toiletries and the fan and the cooking stuff in it. Then there's another bag that's basically the same thing. It's kind of underneath it, this lighter blue one right here. Not super interesting. That's more camera gear and more electronic stuff. I'm a YouTuber. I have a lot of camera stuff. And I think that's just about it on this side. Up in the front here, I have a sunglasses holder that will hold 2 sunglasses. I really like this thing. I like having multiple pairs of sunglasses because, again, I like having spares. I like redundancy. And I break and lose and scratch them a lot. Right here, I have a paper towel roll. It's on a thing that is made specifically for paper towel rolls to like attach, I mean, for this purpose, to attach it to a headrest or to like the back of a camp chair. It's okay, it's fine. A bungee cord is probably just as good, but you know, whatever. This is a little bit nicer because a bungee cord will pinch, like it'll pinch the edge of the paper towel roll a little bit more. I have used bungee cords in the past. This is better, but it's not like miles better. And then I have a trash bag that is also attached to the headrest using these little hooks. And then I have a bag of tissues. I have a little vacuum here. This is a cool little thing. Someone in the SUV RVing Facebook group said that they used this to go after the mosquitoes that get in their car, which I thought was a brilliant idea, so I bought it. It's a cool little vacuum. It actually works pretty well. I need to use it to clean out the car, but I have used it also for mosquitoes. I've gotten a couple, and I'll use it more tonight because I guarantee there are mosquitoes in here after having the car doors open for the last couple hours. The seat covers, by the way, came with headrest covers too. And again, they're okay. They strap on. They don't look great, but they get the job done. And then I have a phone holder. This is a vent mounted one with a little magnet on it. So let me show you how that works. I have a metal plate on the back of my phone, that rectangle. And so I can just attach it there. That's my wife and dog. Isn't that a great picture? And this one is kind of cool because it can adjust, so it can be right in front of the vent or it can be off to the side of the vent. For example, if it's really cold outside and you have the heater going, you probably don't want your phone like right in front of the vent, so having it off to the side like that helps a little bit. I'm not completely in love with this. I don't love vent-mounted phone holders in general. I feel like there is no perfect phone holder, and so this is the least terrible one that I've found. I do have a lap desk. This is usually in here, kind of behind the jack and underneath the tool bag. This was super cheap. It's not fancy. The legs go up like so. And it's like that. So I can use this inside. I can, you know, tie flies for fishing, or I can be on my laptop. Or if I want to cook back here, if I want to do stuff back here, I can put this just right here because this is just carpet. But I can have this with the legs folded under just as a cooking surface. On this car, each door has a little light in it. And these turn on automatically when you open up the door. As far as I can tell, there's not a switch to turn that off. There is a switch to turn off the overhead lights, and I've done that, so the overhead lights stay off. But I wanted the door lights to turn off too, And so I just took a screwdriver, kind of pried this off, and there's a little bulb back in here. I just removed the bulb, I yanked the bulb out. So this door light does not open. I still need to do this for the other doors. I was just testing it out to see if it would work, to see if I could do it. And yes, it does work. I can do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the bulbs from all of the doors. At night when I'm not wearing my hat, I use the armrest here. It's kind of a nice little built-in hat hanger. And then finally for my license plate, I got this like little silicone license plate frame thing instead of the usual metal ones that I've used in the past. Got good reviews on Amazon, and apparently, you know, it doesn't, it's flexible, so if it bends, it doesn't stay in the shape that it's bent in. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And you might notice that my license plate is 654321. I did that because I was tired of trying to remember my license plate number, and I didn't care about what exactly my vanity plate said, and so I just got these numbers. And so I get a kick out of that every time I need to write down my license plate at a trailhead or like at a state park. Sometimes when you enter a state park, you need to write down your car information, or like at a motel, you know, things come up when you need to write down your license plate or remember it. I really like having that number. I think it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, it's getting dark. I'm exhausted. My throat is parched from all this talking. Let's wrap this up. I hope I'm in focus, by the way. I don't know if I am or not, but and I hope that this light isn't flickering. I've never filmed with this little USB light bulb in here before. When I filmed inside in the past, I used this little Walmart lantern, and it flickers on camera. Not in person, just on camera. It's kind of annoying. I don't know if this is doing that or not. Overall, I love this setup. I love this vehicle. This is my favorite car I've ever owned. I love the platform. I love the gear. I love where everything is. I just really like everything about my setup in here, which makes sense. I did it. You know, I built it. I put it all together like this, and so it makes sense that I like it, but it really is great for me. I just remembered the one thing I didn't show you guys is my chair. I do have a camp chair. It's underneath this side of the platform. Let me know if there's anything I left out, anything that you would add. Let me know your favorite parts of the build. Let me know what things you would change. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the tour. I'm exhausted. This took a lot out of me, and it's almost dark now. I hope you can see things. I hope the video was clear enough. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel to see the adventures that I go on in this vehicle, because that's really what it's all about, right? Like, I think a lot of people get so caught up in the rig and in the build that they forget that, like, there's a purpose to it all. At least for me, it's all about the adventures that I can go on. You know, what this car, what this platform, what this setup allows me to do. And so if you want to see those adventures, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll also continue to post videos and adventures with my other car, my 2011 Toyota RAV4 Adventure Mobile. And I have a back catalog of 400 videos if you want to see the kinds of adventures I've gotten up to in the past. I think you'll be able to find something that you find interesting or entertaining or enjoyable. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys soon in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.